Welcome to the Garage Engineer. I'm Dennis, and these are my favorite things of 2024. So at the end of every year, I like to do kind of a wrap-up video to showcase some of the things I've really enjoyed that I've found throughout the years. And this year has been no exception. I've found a lot of great things that have helped improve my work in the shop and just improved life in general of what I've enjoyed. And so I like to share that with you since the holiday seasons is coming upon us. And if you needed gift ideas, these also make great gifts for your family, friends. So let's check out what I have for 2024. So for our first item, let's start with the Leatherman Bolster. Now this item is new to I think this year, and it's only sold in Costco and Sam's. The thing I like about it, it's only $40, and that's kind of a criteria I have for my everyday carry. I want something that's good quality, but also somewhat less expensive, because if I lose it, if it breaks, then I'm not really concerned about it. I can replace it or fix it. But I hate carrying a $200 item knife or a Leatherman or anything like that. I just always, if I lost it, I think that's just a little bit past my threshold. What I was using before was the Skeletal, which is I think is a pretty decent item, but it had a few flaws that I didn't like. The clip was kind of, carabiner clip was nice, but it's just kind of, for my pocket, was a little bit too bulky. And I like the idea of the screwdriver. You can change the bits out on it. However, whenever I needed a Phillips head, the flathead was in the place of it, so I'd have to go fish it out and put it in, switch it. And whenever I needed a flathead, the Phillips head was in there, so it was always kind of awkward switching back and forth and taking way too much time. It's a good item, but it wasn't perfect for my everyday carry. When I heard about the bolster, got it, checked it out, and it pretty much fixed all those things I didn't like with the Skeletal. It has a knife on the outside, which is definitely first, because I use this the most and I need to be able to get it without having to open up the pliers of it. I've made a few modifications, which I'll probably do a video later on that just adds to it, but we won't talk about those today. It does have the pliers, and the difference between these pliers and the Skeletal pliers is this has a spring action, whereas the Skeletal didn't, and I really like that. That's definitely something I missed going to the Skeletal compared to other pliers. Also, the Phillips head and the flathead are separate units inside the unit, so when you open it up, you've got them right there, which is nice and handy. You don't have to be switching bits out, and that's become very handy. And on the other side, it has a saw and a file and a measuring tape, measuring little stick, and then a can opener. So you still didn't lose the can opener, which is what the carabiner was. You still got that. What I did also like, which really drove me to this, is the knife being a single bladed knife rather than being a hybrid, which being serrated on the bottom side and then straight on the front side. I never really liked that on the Skeletal. I much prefer just one single like this. And since we do have the saw as the other option, you're not losing the serrated part of it. It's just placed somewhere else. So that definitely, so this is really my ideal pocket carry for 2024. I think 2024 was the beginning of the 1/4 inch ratchet explosion. There's so many companies that have come out with it. We had it at the beginning, and I did get a set of those, and I've done a review on that in a video with my 16 essential items for the home repair kit, which I still like the Wera, but when the Harbor Freight came out with their flex head socket, I was really impressed. One, for the price, because the Wera is kind of expensive. The price of Harbor Freight was great. Definitely like this over the Wera, because the handle is a little bit longer. The Wera is a little bit shorter, and it's hard to use as an everyday type, getting tight spaces. It is still good for its purpose to be carrying around and for the certain items, but I definitely like the Harbor Freight version. The only issue that this doesn't come with is socket pieces, which that's not a problem. I've got so many sets that I've just thrown in a couple of extra sets of sockets, metric and imperial, that I just carry around with the set. So if I ever need them, I've got them right there. So definitely not a negative. Also, I hear that Walmart's coming out with, I think it's a Heart product that competes with this. I haven't checked it out yet, but again, it's an explosion of 1/4-inch ratchets. I was looking for one for 2 years. Once I heard about it, a product that was made by Park Industries a long time ago, and I couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden, the Harbor Freight came up, and the Vera was shown. So it's been pretty amazing. So you definitely check it out. And I think this kit's only $40 at Harbor Freight. So it definitely makes a great gift too. So moving on to small electronics and soldering wires. I've always had a Weller soldering station. I think that's what everybody from the 80s, 90s, and even before that started with, and it's great. The only thing is it takes so long to get that initial heat up, and sometimes I just needed a quick solder and to go. And I tend to be lazy and not solder the wire, which I should, and just use other methods, which is fine, but I always tend to like to solder it just to get that good connection. Until I found out about the pine seal. Now the pine seal's been out for a while. I've had mine for about a year and a half, but every day that I use it, I'm so thankful for it. It takes 8 seconds to heat up from cold to 350 degrees. And I've done a video, actually 2 videos on this. One talking just about the pine seal and the good uses of it, but the other one is creating a separate battery pack. Now this is a prototype that I just kind of put together, but this allows me to hook up my pine seal to a Makita battery and then to use it as a portable soldering station, so wherever I need to go I don't have to be connected to ground power, which is wonderful. But if you don't want to do this, they also have the thing about this is it's USB-C, so you just take your silicone USB-C wire and you get the right proper wattage adapter, and you just plug this right into your wall and you get the same thing. So you can't lose. So check that out. Again, the pine seal, and this was a open source project. You're helping them out. And also, iFixit's come out with a similar soldering station that uses this type of technology. So that might be something else, but they're a little bit more pricier, but they have some other good benefits from that. You can check that out. And so these make good gifts. I'll have a list of all these products in the video description down below if you're interested in getting it. That'd be great. And they make, again, great stocking stuffers or gifts for your friends and family. So we got 2 more to do, and I'm gonna put these 2 together. These are my book section. I love to read when I get a chance, and these have been my 2 favorites. This is the William Forster series. There's 4 books in the series. 1 second after, you need to start with that book. That's the beginning of it. This is 5 years later, which is the 4th book, and I'm right at the beginning of it. I haven't got to finish it yet, but I've loved the whole series. It's easy to read, and it's a great story. I'm not going to review it, spoil it, or anything like that. Just check it out. You can go to Amazon and look at the description of videos, but if you can't think of something to give someone who loves books, this is great. Start with 1 second after, and you won't be disappointed. Now, for my second book, it's actually, again, not a two-part series. The same Andy Weir has written both of these books. The first one's The Martian, which the book is wonderful. The movie is good, but the book goes into so much more detail, and it's very detailed and interesting. Now, he's written a second book, and it's been out for a little while. It's called Hail Mary. This isn't a continuation of The Martian. It is a space-themed book. I haven't read it yet. I've heard great reviews about it, but it's put on my stack of books to read, and I wanted to bring it out to share everybody if you needed ideas. Definitely a good idea for a gift, and or even for yourself, it's a great read. And for our last favorite thing, let's go to the clean room. So I think the biggest contribution to the shop over the past 2 years, or year and a half, is my 3D printer, the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon. Now, I know 3D printing has been around for a long time, but I think it's been more of a hobby about the machine and getting it dialed in, and not really about the 3D printing. But now that the Bambu Labs has set up a printer that just works, I mean, you can make 3D prints and then use your mind and expand and make items that would normally cost thousands of dollars to prototype. You can easily prototype in this machine. So with the Bambu Labs X1C, it allows me to print with the additional AMS 4 colors at a time if I wanted to. But what makes this great is that I can just think of something, draw it up in a CAD program, and send it right to the printer and not worry about leveling and sticking and all that. It works. So we're getting to a point now where this is becoming a household item, just like a laser printer or a inkjet printer. You just hook it up to your computer, print it, and it shoots out what you want. Just recently I've made a few of these items. You've got an ornament sitting on a shelf. Custom made a cap for a mason jar with a lid that's airtight. You can see that video with our deskant build. Or even a keychain with an RFID chip installed that you can use to share information. So this might not be a gift that you can just go out and give to your friend. It is a little bit pricey, but I wanted to show it's one of my favorite things that has really changed the way I do things in the shop. You can use 3D printed parts to enhance your woodworking, metal, creativity, or just making in general. So that's why I wanted to put it on my list. I'm just amazed at where 3D printing has finally come to. And being at the end of the year, I like to thank all of you for watching. If you're your first time here, please check out my other videos I've done throughout the year. If you're a long-time watcher, I appreciate you being here and watching my videos. I really enjoy making them, and I appreciate the format for me to tell my stories. Again, to continue helping the Garage Interior grow, if you just check out those items in the video description, just click on it and just look around. That helps the channel out just by increasing growth. If you're interested in purchasing some of those items, a little bit of the purchase price goes to the Garage Engineer. It doesn't increase the price for you, but it does help the channel out so we can make more videos. I hope you have a happy holidays and a prosperous new year, and we'll see you in 2025. Until then, we'll see you next time. So one more thing as a final bonus, I wanted just to show, this is my Field Notes leather cover. I've made this and I haven't made a video about it just because of the simplicity of it, but it's something I carry every day. I think it's important to carry some type of note and pen, writing utensil, and this has really been nice and compact and flat that I can just stick in my pocket, and it's not too bulky that I'd have to put it in a bag. I can just carry it in my back pocket and have it with me wherever I go. I would use the Papermate Flare pen, which is great, but you're limited to a thin, fine line, and I don't have any problem with it. But when my friend told me about the Pentel Signs pen, I've really enjoyed it. It's more of it's a little bit thicker tip, but it's more of a kind of a sharp mix between a Sharpie and the Flare. So you get that fine lines, but you can also do thick marking. I just love the way it feels when I'm writing in the notebook. So I've been carrying this around instead of the Flare in my everyday carry Field Notes cover. So one more thing to update my everyday carry. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one that you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time.